In today's breaking news, Donald Trump's new U.S. attorney, someone who many have derided as unqualified and unfit for the job, is already showing desperation in carrying out his orders. An expose from MSNBC reveals that she has taken a very unusual step, perhaps because Trump's court scheme is unpopular and unwinnable. We'll see about that. Stick around for the breakdown. That includes
a lot of breaking news on Donald Trump's retribution campaign.
Let's begin with Simone Sanders Townsend talking about an open letter from 300. Yes, 300 former Department of Justice officials sounding the alarm about Trump's weaponization of the DOJ. And she dives into his targets and motives, including but not limited to racism. Have a listen. And on the other side, the panel exposes the flailing by Trump's new acting U.S. attorney.
We talked about this letter from these nearly 300 former officials from the Department of Justice. This is what they wrote in this open letter today. We believe it's our duty to sound the alarm about this administration's degradation of DOJ's vital work and its assault on the public servants who do it, according to an open letter signed by 282 former officials obtained exclusively by MSNBC. The former officials are making the most sweeping and serious accusations against the sitting president since Richard Nixon, who resigned in disgrace in 1974. The Watergate scandal touched the Justice Department, but the recently departed bureaucrats allege Trump has mounted a much broader and more sustained assault on its independence, policies, and personnel. As we were chatting earlier today, I just kind of made the point that, look, the independence, the jurisprudence, if you will, like defending some of the institutions, it is important. However, it is not necessarily the most important thing to people out there. And I frankly think, for me, myself, I think defense of the progress is what's most important. And I think what Donald Trump is doing here, this current fight, is not about defending the FBI or the Department of Justice or these individual agencies within there. It is about whether hard-won progress can survive when the law is weaponized. Like what he's doing at Tish James is not just about Tish James. And what he's doing at James Comey is not just about James Comey. Tish James even said herself, she's like, I'm not concerned. I'm lawyered up. I'm concerned about what he's doing to the American people. And I think that this is like a long line for a couple reasons he's targeting Tish James. She's a black woman, and he seems to like targeting black women. She is one of the people that has held him accountable, and he seems to like targeting people who has attempted to hold him accountable. And she's continuing to do her job. This is about weaponizing and punishing the progress, and the progress is what's at stake here. Yeah, the independence of the institutions, but baby, it looks like it's already gone.
And that brings us to our breaking story about Lindsay Halligan, whose title is now acting U.S. attorney. Pretty lofty considering that her background is that of a Florida insurance lawyer. And get this, she has only ever appeared officially in federal court on 3 occasions, lawsuits where she represented Donald Trump. Is she in over her head and being set up to fail? Have a listen about her latest move and judge for yourself.
MSNBC is reporting that Trump's hand-picked U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia, Lindsay Halligan, could not find any career prosecutors in her own office who were willing to pursue charges against former FBI Director James Comey. Because of that, Halligan is taking an extremely rare step, recruiting prosecutors from outside her office to take Comey to trial. That is according to 2 people familiar with the selections. Halligan, a Trump loyalist who was appointed last month, her signature was the only signature on the Comey indictment. You'll recall Halligan's predecessor resigned after he resisted bringing charges against Comey and another one of Trump's perceived political enemies, New York AG Letitia James. Today, sources tell MSNBC that another top prosecutor from that same office, Elizabeth Yusi, is rejecting pressure from Donald Trump, refusing to bring charges against James. That is according to 2 people familiar with her discussions. Yusi told coworkers she sees no probable cause to believe the New York AG engaged in mortgage fraud. Yusi plans to present her conclusions to Lindsay Halligan in the coming weeks, and she is bracing to be fired. Joining us now, former federal prosecutor Ankush Kadori. He is now a senior writer for Politico magazine, and Angelo Corazon, president and chair of Media Matters.
Well, I would say that the news about Halligan is not that surprising, that she couldn't find a career prosecutor to go in with her, but it is no, pun intended, I guess, but it is a real indictment of the case against Comey, that she couldn't get a single career prosecutor in the office to go. It was, I think, sort of widely suspected for those of us sort of around in the office because she signed it by herself. She presented it by herself. You would not do that if you could have found someone else at least to come in with you. But it does reflect a really damning assessment of the indictment and the case against Comey from the professional prosecutors in the office. She will find someone from outside of the office to come help her take this to trial or take it to trial.
How? Who?
There are people. See, this was underestimated during the first administration. There are conservative and Republican lawyers throughout the DOJ and U.S. attorneys' offices throughout the country. Right? There's a U.S. attorney office in every district, judicial district in the country. That includes the South. Right? It includes deep red states.
And when he does these things, like demonstrate that he's going after the New York Attorney General, and there's new reporting that there's nothing there, it makes them feel like he is just stripping them along. And remember, this is taking place in the context where all this Epstein stuff is in the background.
Right.
So people say, you're doing all that, but you're not doing anything about Epstein. So in a weird way, every time he takes one of these efforts to use the justice system and he says it's about getting revenge, they say, great, but what about this? Can you not use the same powers to get us this thing? So it's not playing the way that he thinks it's playing, and it's not creating the excitement that I think they hope it's going to create. For him, it's making Trump happy, right?
There is so much to unpack here. First off, nearly 300 former DOJ officials have put their names on a sounding of the alarm, saying Trump's actions represent the most sweeping assault on American justice since Nixon, and maybe worse. That alone is shocking and should be its own story, but when Trump floods the zone each day with chaos, as he does, not everything gets its due. And then there's all the attorneys who are saying, I'll pass to Trump and Halligan. They know his lawfare against his enemies list is not only wrong, but unwinnable. And now she has to go outside of the Justice Department and find a stooge who will take the case just to show their loyalty to Trump, just like she did. And then there's the presence of Halligan herself. Trump has put loyalty way above qualifications this term, and that's why we see his former personal lawyer in the number 2 position at the DOJ, 2 former podcasters heading up the FBI, and at least 23 former Fox hosts in other key positions. They are not there to win necessarily. They are there to follow his orders, and for a narcissistic powermonger, that is the ultimate win. I'm Dan. Thanks for watching, and now I want to know what you think. Please comment below, and let's continue to occupy democracy together.